Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Today we are going to make a stack of boxes that kind of hold all of the birthday essentials. I like to call this, I've done a few birthday in a boxes before, but this one is birthday in a box stacked. So each one of these boxes has a birthday message on it. The dies that I use are the Everyday Arches dies, and then I also used one of our new online exclusives called Arched Wishes. The Everyday Arches dies also comes in a bundle if you prefer. This is the Everyday Arches stamp set that comes with the dies. I'm actually not going to be using the stamp set today, but some of these are very nice little messages and greetings in the arch form that matches the arch, so it might be worthwhile to get the bundle. I do intend down the road, I debated whether or not to create an arched box for this birthday set, but the supplies that I wanted to put in these boxes were just a little bit larger than the largest arch. So I'm going to save that arched box idea for a different day. But I did want to do a birthday in a box stacked, so to speak. So at the end, we'll tie all of these up. I only made one sample, so I either had to have them tied or untied. So these ones are untied for now so that I can show you what we're going to be making. We are going to be making one of the boxes, and then I'm going to send out the rest of the measurements for the other two boxes in a project sheet. This is my partially done project sheet. It may look a little different when I get it to you, but it will have a diagram, of course the picture, will have links to the blog post and the video, and all the measurements that you need to make all three sizes of the boxes. They are all made in the same way, and one of the nice things about these boxes is that they are double walled, so they're both the top and the bottom are really well, they're sturdier than a regular just single walled box. And they also I don't know if you can see, I think they just look a little bit more professional. So we're going to make this so these boxes are nice and sturdy, and I also think that people might want to keep these as little boxes to put things in, whether you give this as a office birthday gift and people use them, the boxes, as a thing to put their paper clips in. I don't know if we use paper clips so much anymore, but just to have little boxes to put little things that you use in the office, or they're just like really pretty. They look very pretty stacked up, and you can make the tops of the box with designer series paper or out of designer series paper. But when you only have 6x6 paper, like the paper that I use for these right here, only comes in 6x6. So for me, I decided that I was going to make the lids out of cardstock and then add designer series paper to the top and side. So that's another option. But if you prefer, if you have 12x12, go ahead and make the lids out of the designer series paper, and then you can save yourself a step for adding things to the sides of the box. They'll be a tad bit less sturdy, but they're still going to be double walled, and if you have a double walled bottom and a double walled top, you're going to be a little bit stronger than just if you do the single wall. All right, what else do I need to tell you? Well, I hope you've checked out the online exclusives. They just started on Tuesday, and I have a new host code for the month. So if you're going to be buying supplies to make these boxes, here's my host code, and if you spend $50 this month, I will be sending out the Starburst sequins in April. I can't believe we're like already so many months into the year. But this will be, it's the March gift that gets sent in April. So, and if this is not available when I go to order it, then I will substitute with something of equal or greater value. But it will be an embellishment like this that you can use on your projects. All right. I think we're ready to get started. So let me switch to my other camera. I will say hello to all of you at the end because, as some of you know, I do get distracted and go off on a tangent. So I would really like to just concentrate on the project and work my way through, and then talk to you all at the end if you want to stick around for that. Okay, let's switch over to my side right here. Okay, so I said this is the bundle, but I'm using this additional stamp set called Arched Wishes with the Everyday Arches dies right here. I'm also using the 2024-2026 in color designer series paper. I have loved this paper this year. Now, I will just warn you, if Stampin' Up! Does what they always do, they're going to change these patterns out for new patterns for the next year. I hope they will continue to have designer series paper and all the color families, because I really love the tone-on-tone patterns. But I have really loved these patterns over the last year. So if you like this paper, make sure you pick it up soon, because I feel like it's going to be on the retirement list. So it's the 2024-2026 in color paper. The link's down below in the description of the video, or if you're over on my blog, it is down one of the last things you see at the bottom of my blog post. This paper is just, I don't know, I've done so many projects with it. I know that it is so worthy to be used. Okay. So let's put this aside and let me grab, I have left everything across the room. I need my trimmer and my scoring board. We'll start off with the scoring board. And we are going to make, right now we're going to make the smallest box. The reason I chose the smallest box is it will fit the best on my surface, so you can see everything really well. We're going to start off by making the bottom of the box, and I'm going to be using thick basic white cardstock to do that. Let me grab my scoring tool. Let me tell you what the measurements are for that. The box bottom is a 9 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece of cardstock, 9 1/4 by 8 1/4 inches. And we are going to score this on all four sides the same. So you're going to score at the 7/8 inch mark and the 1 7/8 inch mark. And do this on all four sides, 7/8 and then 1 7/8, 7/8, and then 1 7/8, and then 7/8 and 1 7/8. And those are the score measurements for all four, actually all three boxes, the top and the bottom. They all get scored in the same way. So that kind of makes it nice and easy. Now we're going to do the small box lid, and I'm using colored cardstock for that. You could also use white if you were going to add designer series paper to it, but I don't know, I think it looks nice to see the peach pie kind of peeking through on the side. So if you're doing all the in color boxes, we do sell an in color multi-pack, so you get 4 sheets of each of the 5 colors, those in colors. So the 2 colors I'm not doing today are Pretty and Pink and Shy Shamrock. Okay, so this lid is 8 3/8 by 9 3/8. 8 3/8 by 9 3/8. Nope. Yes. Why is this wrong? Why? This seems wrong to me somehow. It's okay. I wrote down the wrong measurements. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you know what I did? That's wrong. Let me back up just a little bit if you're following along. Sorry about that. I wrote down the measurements for the large box instead of the small box. So we are making actually the small box. So the small box bottom, the measurements, I was like, why are the measurements so wrong? But they seem so right. Okay, let's go over this again. This thick basic white piece, this bottom is 7.5 by 6.5. Okay, we're making the small box, and the way I had my measurements written down, I had them written large, medium, small. I started off with the largest box, and when I transcribed the measurements this morning, I grabbed the ones for the large box instead. So the bottom is 7.5 by 6.5. The score marks are the same, 7/8 and 1 7/8. Then we've got this piece, which is 7 5/8 by 6 5/8. Okay, the colored cardstock piece. Sorry about that. I can confuse myself very easily. Best thing is actually to wait for the project sheet, because it will have the measurements on there written down, and you'll be able to see the ones for the small, medium, and large, and it will all make sense for you. Okay, so let's score the lid, and this is scored at the same measurements, 7 8 and 1 7/8. At least all of those measurements are the same. So if you've already scored yourself a large box bottom, then you can just go ahead and use the first measurements I gave you for the lid and make yourself a large box instead of a small box, because they're all made in the same way. Let me pop this over here. Okay, now, you know, when they make these double walled boxes, I love to use my trimmer because I like straight lines. So let's start off with this one right here. And I'm going to cut in so that the small side or the short side is facing me or is up at the top. And I'm going to put my score line and line it up with this score groove right here. We're going to cut into this piece. On the first cut, we're going to go all the way down to the second score intersection. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to bring my cutting blade over and line up my little guide right here with this score line right here. And I'm going to cut out towards the end, and then down here I'm lifting this up, bringing this down to the second score intersection and coming down. Now you can also do this with scissors. Okay, so if you don't like my method, I do like this though. If you're gonna make a nicely made box, this will give you nice straight lines. So now we've gotten to, just need to remember to lift this up when you do the cuts. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Lift and just align it. I think also once you get the hang of this, this actually goes faster than cutting with scissors, because once you get it aligned, you can do both sides. Okay. Now we're going to, we have to pay attention here. I'm going to align this first score line in first, and we're going to cut this one in the same way, starting at the second score line out, and then the same for this one here. So we're cutting away those two outer squares. but we want to retain this inner square here. So for this cut, we're just going to go in to the first score intersection. So basically the way I write it in the instructions is that we're cutting away the 3 outermost squares. Those are all going away. So if that makes more sense to you, you can just go ahead and cut away the 3 outermost squares like we're doing right now. Go away. And then come in, and we're going to just do that first square and that first square there. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let's quickly do this with our other piece. We're going to line it up, the short sides towards me again. We're going to come in and go to the second score intersection. I always like to flip because I find it's easier. The short side is still towards me because we're cutting into the short side. Now, if you did the long side by accident, you could do it reverse too. So this is what it looks like. Then we're going to turn and we're going to cut those 2 outer squares away. They're going away. And then we're just going to do 1 square on the second cut. Okay, let's flip this to the other side. So double-walled boxes do take a little bit more time, but I think the result is like so much nicer. That's why I often do double-walled boxes. Okay, so we've done all our cutting, and now you have a lot of little squares. Maybe you want to make a card with them. I have not done that, but that would be a cool concept. Let me throw those out. The last thing we need to do to prep these pieces is we're going to, this innermost square right here, we're going to taper cut it a little bit so when we're folding the pieces together, they come together nicer. So we're just going to do this and this. Okay, I like to cut from the same place all the time. So I'm going to turn and flip my cardstock so that I'm comfortable where I'm cutting rather than moving my scissor all around. I like to cut from this side. If you're left-handed, you might be wanting to cut more from this side. So, you know, move your cardstock around so that it suits you. All right, so that's the bottom, and this is the top. Just keep going. There's 8 little cuts to make. Now, if you didn't do these taper cuts, your box would still come together, but you would see that your cardstock will crunch a little bit. It will bend a little bit when you're folding things over because there's a lot of bulk coming in when you're folding it in, and so this just helps it to fold nicer. Okay, so now we're going to take a bone folder and we're going to fold, let's put the scissors away, fold this on all 4 sides. Let's fold these little guys in as well. Maybe I should have done that with the other side. Whenever I make a lot of these, I learn how to do things more easily. Let's fold this one up real quick too. Let's fold these guys in. We can do all of these at the same time. And also, I like to fold on this side, so I keep moving my cardstock around instead of my bone folder. Okay, all right, let's start with the bottom. And thing I start off doing is these tabs are tucking in here, but this doesn't get anything. These ones won't get tucked into because they have the tabs on them. So I like to glue these down first. So the long sides, if you cut your box the same way as mine, we're going to fold these down and just get them secured. Now you might see why I did a 7/8 inch outer and then a 1 inch for the actual sides, is because if I did an inch and an inch, when I folded this in, it doesn't have, sometimes it's going to interfere with the score line here. So just by making this 1/8 of an inch shorter, it gives it the ability to come in a little bit easier. Okay, I think I'm almost out of glue. But I think we'll be able to make it through. So now right here, we're gonna put glue on here, and then we're gonna bring these in and we're gonna tuck those flaps and fold it over. Sometimes it helps to dry fit it first so that you kind of know what you're doing. Bring these tops in, bring this in, and then I just kind of just bring this down. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to push in the sides. At the same time, I'm trying to make sure this flap is pretty smooth so that it comes in. And then just grab my bone folder and see how nice that end is. It just looks really good. Okay, so now we're gonna put glue on here. Sometimes what's nice, like if you're doing these boxes, it would also be kind of cool if you wanted to. This is an extra step. If you want to make your boxes fancier, take a piece of designer series paper and cut it to fit the bottom of the piece, because that always looks so nice. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got the box bottom all done. And now we just need to do the box top the same way. So this side right here is going to come in first. Sometimes it's stubborn. The bone folder really helps with that. We do actually sell bone folders. I always forget to put them on my supply list though. So if you're looking for a bone folder, just have a look in the at the store if you're checking out, and just type in bone folder and you will find our bone folders. All right, and then we're going to come through. We're going to do the little tucking. Okay. And oops. All right, moment of truth. They fit, yay. Now, if you found that, so this box, the small box will be the loosest of them all, just because of the size. I don't know how to put it, but with the larger box, the measurements are larger, so somehow it ends up being the larger box fits like really kind of perfectly, and this one can end up being a little looser. So if you find that if you're doing multiples of these, if you find that this box is a little big, go down just like a hair in size on the lid, and that way you'll do the same score measurements, but it's going to make it a little snugger. I wouldn't go down a full 1/16 of an inch. I would go just like a hair smaller, just so that way it will be just a teeny tiny bit snugger. Okay, so then for the box top here, we've got, let me measure this. I'll write it down in the instructions. So for the box top, we're going to do, this box is almost 3 inches, but I think I did, this piece of designer series paper is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So we're just gonna glue that to the top. I like this pattern. It's like kind of an overall kind of pretty pattern. But then I thought, let's do the reverse of this pattern and do the stripes. So for this one, I did actually did just a hair less than 7/8 and a hair less than 4 inches. So I just kind of went just a little bit under, just so it would fit on the sides really well. So just a little bit under. You could do, if you wanted exact measurements, which I'll probably just give you, I would do maybe 3 7/8, or yeah, 3 7/8, or maybe 3 3/4. 3 3/4 by 7/8. It's probably the better measurement. I'm just going to put these little stripies on. Now this is going to make it look like you did make the box out of designer series paper. And then this little piece, I would say 2 3/4 by 7/8 would give you a good measurement. And then finally, this one. Okay, so we're going to decorate the top of this piece. Whoops. All right, I have to say I did do some stamp surgery. Happy and birthday. Well, they used to be together and now they have split up. I cut in between the two of them. And because I wanted them to fit stacked on this right here. So I'm going to use peach pie right here. We're going to grab, okay, let me grab the arch wishes. Let me tell you which size I used. So going from the smallest, this one would be the 4th smallest arch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We could have also gone a little bit bigger. So if you wanted to, you could do a layer of peach pie or another color first, and then this layer. I did debate on doing that, but in the end I didn't. So there is enough room to do that. One of the reasons I think I didn't end up doing it is because when these are stacked properly, if they're all stacked properly, you cannot see the arches underneath. So it kind of reveals the birthday greetings as you take them off, if you do them a little bit smaller than the whole box would allow. So that's why I did them in that way. There's always a method to my madness, and I sometimes afterwards I don't remember why I did things that way, but today this is the way it goes. So I'm going to stamp happy up at the top and peach pie, and then I'm going to grab birthday and just go right underneath. Okay, so got happy birthday up there, and then I'm going to take my tuxedo black and do a balloon on here. I don't need to ink all the way down because the whole balloon is not going to fit. So we'll just grab that. Oops. Ooh. Oh, that looks awful. I got ink on there. I'm going to flip it over, even though I think the other side is preferred. Yeah, that was kind of an unhappy accident. Let's do this again. Take 2. Happy. And birthday. Okay, balloon, don't let me down. I don't even know how I did that. Let me just turn this like this. Okay. Sometimes things happen, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my light peach pie. And this is my Stampin' Blends. And I'm just gonna come around, round and round and round the balloon. And I wanna leave a watermark up near the top, so let's just keep blending up. Up and up. Okay, there's the, not the watermark, the light mark. That's where, you know, if you look at a balloon closely that's blown up and hovering in the air, you will most often see that it's got like a little spot where the light hits it. Okay. All right. That's good enough. And then we're just going to add this to the top, and hopefully no one will ever see the back side of this, because the back side does not look good. And we're just going to add that to the box. Okay, I want to show you how I did the other 2 arches, because we're not going to do the boxes, and I also want to show you what I have inside these boxes. So let's do the inside the boxes first. No, we're going to do the arches first. We're going to do the arches first, and then don't let me forget to show you things I put inside the insides of the boxes. Okay, so this is box number 1, the smallest. We're going to cut a couple other, we're going to do these 2. So just want to show you how to do these easily as well. So I'm starting off with a 1/4 sheet of cardstock for both of these. I'm going to grab, this one is Petunia Pop. So this greeting fits on an e-block, kind of a little wonky, but I like to, I'm going to stamp and then I'm going to cut this out, because I find with this not being photopolymer, it's easier for me to see where I'm cutting if I'm stamping this first. So I'm going to ink this up in Petunia Pop, and then I'm going to kind of keep it over to the side like this. Okay. And then we're going to die cut it. And then for the other one, I also kind of like to grab Summer Splash. And I'm also using a 1/4 sheet of cardstock here, but you could probably go a little smaller with this one, because I want to stamp Make a Wish and die cut that out as well. And it's just a little bit easier to get it exactly where you want it if you stamp first and then die cut second. So I'm just going to stamp Make a Wish right up at the top there. And then we just need to find the right dies to do some die cutting. So let me grab my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to grab This also is how I cut the other arch. But I did it ahead of time because that one I wanted to do. I have static electricity, and it's grabbing my hair and sticking to my decorating machine. It's not very lovely. My mom would be aghast at the hair. Time to get out the vacuum after this. All right, so I'm going to use the second largest one for this one. I'm going to place this down. If you find your arches are bowing a bit, just very gently kind of straighten them back out. Then we're going to use some of this labeling and cover up tape. It's basically like the top of a Post-it note, and we're going to use that to pin this into place. So what I'm looking for here, all of the letters that are tall, like the H's, the F, and the exclamation mark, I want to have about the same distance of white, or from the die to the white. How would you say? No. I want the same distance from the die to those markers, like the exclamation mark and the H down here. So I want to make sure that those are the same distance. Grab our second cutting plate, and we're going to run this through. Ooh, this seems super tight, but yeah, it's right. I think, you know, the reason why is I really should have turned it. I should have turned it like this to go through, because whenever you have like a big line like this, when you're going through, it's that roller hits it all at the same time. If you turn it just a little bit, or if you have the option to go through on a narrower side, it's just a little bit better. So just remember that. Don't do what I just did. Because for a moment, I thought I had the wrong sandwich, even because it was so tight. But then I was like, nope, that's the right sandwich. Let's keep these little guys. Oh, I already lost one of them. Okay, so there's the number one. And then we're going to find which size I need for this one. So this one, let's put this back on here. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. I think it is this one here. Let's line this up. Okay, so then we're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth largest one for this one. And I lost my other little piece, so we're going to grab another one of these because I kind of want to pin these down in 2 spots. So with this one, I want to make sure that it's kind of centered up at the top. When I like how it looks, I'm going to pin and pin. And then since this is pinned, I'm going to rotate. I think this will go through nicer. Yes, there we go. Also, it's a little smaller of a die. Okay, now it's going to go over that last bit in a clump. So if you want to do this the best possible way, go through this way and then you just turn it just a teeny tiny little bit, because that way it's going to not hit the roller in here all at the same time. It won't make that big kerclunk. It will still cut it. It just somehow it feels wrong when you do that, and there's an easier way to do it. All right. Okay. So we have cut those. Let's put this away. Bring this in. Okay. Let's grab this one. And I think I'm going to stamp my balloon like this because I can kind of see where I'm going a little bit better. And this one is going to be a little taller than, now I have to turn it this way. Sometimes I just feel like some ways are easier to do things, and if I feel like I need to turn it, I just go ahead and turn it. So there is the balloons on this one, and then on this one we're going to do the little cupcake. It's not a little cupcake actually, it's kind of a big cupcake, and that's going to go perfectly with what we have inside the boxes too. So I'm going to bring this down right about there. Sorry, I'm a little bit, bring it up a little bit up there. Okay, one other thing that I want to do, I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight ink pad for this, and I'm going to grab this little stamp right here. So we're going to stamp this, and this is going to kind of look like a candle flame. And since this says make a wish, you kind of want to have the candle lit, right? So we're going to do this, and we're going to come down like this, and we're just going to kind of do that so it looks like the candle is lit. All right, now we just need to color all of these. So I decided for this one, I would use like all 3 of the colors on this. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna do peach pie on the cupcake bottom, and that kind of works well because, you know, often our cake batters, if the liners are see-through, often our cake batters are kind of yellow in color. This kind of reminds me a bit of like a goldeny color, so it makes sense for the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to come in with Petunia Pop, and we're going to just outline the icing. I could have done the whole thing in bright icing, but I thought this is just going to give it kind of more of a, I don't know, a subtle. And also I think it's just a tad bit easier. I don't have to color the whole thing. And then we want to add like a little bit of blue back in. So we're going to grab our Summer Splash light, and we're just going to come in, color every other stripe like that. And so yeah, that's how you do the little one for this one. And then for this one, we're just going to come in, we're going to do the 2 balloons in 2 different colors. So we're going to come in with, I'm going to do this balloon here. And I really, maybe I'll only do 1 balloon because I already did the balloon on the top of the box. So I don't think you really need to see how I did that twice, but basically I want to have a spot also near the top where there is a space where the light hits. So I've kind of drawn that in, and now I'm not going to touch it. And then I'm going to come back over and hit my lines again to blend them out and make them a little darker near the bottom, a little darker near the outside. There. And so then I did this balloon in Petunia Pop, and that's what the 2 balloons look like together. And before we tie all of these up, now is the time to show what's in them. So I've lost one of the boxes. Surely I have. Okay, this is the box. The box that we just made. Let's move these all out of the way. Let's shove. Let us tidy up. Okay, so in here we have got a Mug Treats cake. This one, I did the rainbow chip cake mix because it looks like a birthday party. So this comes with a topping and a cake mix, and it's made in a mug. So very easy to make. So it's like a little birthday cake that you can share with someone in a box. Now, if you don't like how plain that looks, what I would do is, you know, grab some of the in color ribbon, and I would just like, you know, tie it around here and then put it inside, like just do like a simple knot and tie it and put it inside there, and that will pretty it up just a little bit and make it look, you know, it isn't a pretty box, but if you want to make it look a little bit nicer, add a little color. The other thing you could do is add a little designer series paper to the bottom of the box, and that will also line the box and make it look really pretty. So we've got that. And then in this one, I put birthday cake kisses. So that's like just a really, you know, fun and easy idea. If you don't like white chocolate, then choose something else. Hershey's Kisses has so many different flavors. They have plain flavors, and then they have filled flavors. There's so many different types of kisses. Or this is an inch high, so if you want to put something else in there, you can put something else inside this box, inside the candy portion of the box. But just to keep it with the birthday theme, I did birthday kisses, birthday cake kisses. And then finally, in the top box, this is where anything else that you need to make the birthday complete, you can put in here. I put in a couple of balloons, and then I also tied a few little candles together with some matching ribbon. And you know, if you wanted to, this is not as prevalent nowadays anymore, since we are a nation that doesn't smoke as much anymore. But if you find matches, you could put them in there so they have something to light the candles with. So anything else that you want to do to make the birthday complete. Or instead of candy, you could put a small gift in this middle one. You know, it's just fun, like, because you have all of these little, you know, boxes that will stack up and look nice. And I like that the message kind of gets revealed because it's covered up. So I think it's kind of fun. So, and it looks a lot crazier than it is. Most of the effort goes in how you make the boxes. Okay, so to tie these up, you could absolutely use one of the in colors to tie this box up together. But let me grab the ribbon. I am using this ribbon right here. This is the silver and white sheer ribbon, and I love this ribbon because it is like such a neutral ribbon, and it's going to show the colors right through, and it's going to match with all the boxes. This is such a versatile ribbon, and it ties really nicely. So you're going to need about a yard or 3 feet of ribbon to tie these boxes. So you kind of want to have it kind of in the center, and you're going to go across, and you're going to flip this upside down. My mom taught me how to do this, like how to tie like a ribbon around a box. We don't do this anymore, but this used to be a thing. We used to tie ribbon around a box in that way, and then we cross it at the bottom. So for those of you who've never done this before, then you just cross it at the bottom, and then you flip it over again. main thing you want to do when you're doing this is just take your time and make sure that all the ribbon is straight, because it doesn't look good if it's not straight. Okay, so just kind of cinch it in. You're going to want locking tweezers or someone's finger. Here, I'm just going to use the lip of my jar so that hopefully, sometimes the tweezer has a tendency to bend down. We're just going to tighten that up. Now you want to make sure your boxes are filled before you tie them up, because it's going to be hard to get this in and around. Again, once you've got it tied up, I just tied my knot loosely in case I want to change anything out. I haven't kind of made it a commitment knot yet. It's like a haphazard knot, so that I can just like still open this up and change anything out that I want to have change. But doesn't that look really like pretty? And think about this, you could do this with so many different papers and it will just look really, really pretty. But my in color paper, I'm so addicted to it. I hope next year's patterns, if they change up the patterns like they usually do, I hope next year's patterns are to my liking, because I really love this year's patterns. They are so pretty. Aren't they cute? Okay, I think I showed you everything I wanted to about this project. Remember, I will have a project sheet for you, and that project sheet will have all the different measurements. So for the small, medium, large, today we made the small. I accidentally gave you the large measurements at the beginning because I got confused. So you already have the large measurements, but they are all made in the same way. To get my project sheet, you need to be on my email list. So make sure you check down below. There is a link that says, do you want to be part of my email list? This is both on my blog, and if you're watching this on YouTube directly, there is a link there for you to use to get on my email list. It's a free email list, and every Saturday I send out my project sheets for my Friday projects. So if you want to get past project sheets, that's also how you get past project sheets. And I get a lot of emails about, I want this specific project sheet. I signed up for your email list. So just a couple of things, you can email me, but it's so much faster to look for your welcome email from me. Once you have subscribed to my email list, I send you a welcome email. And in that welcome email, there is a link to get the past project sheets. So just look for that. It might end up in your spam folder or your trash folder, or whatever, whatever folder, your junk folder. Look for that folder, because you will have that email instantly. And by the time I get to email you, sometimes, a day could go by. So just look for that link. Also, if you have any of my Saturday emails also have a link at the bottom of the page. The very last banner I put on there's the link to my past project sheets. So you always get that link sent to you on a Saturday as well. So for those of you, if you're waiting for an email back from me, make sure you check for your welcome email, or if you have already received a Saturday email from me, your link will be right there for you. All right. Thank you for making it this far. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I hope you will. I do a 3-day project every Friday, and I do a card every Tuesday. And I would love for you to join me. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell button so you get notified when I go live. Leave me a comment, give me a like. Those all help me get seen by other people, and I appreciate that so much, because this is what I do. I create with paper, so I would love for you to join me regularly. All right, let's say hello to everyone who's joined us today. Let's say hello. I'm gonna close my blind for a second. The light has shifted, and now I'm getting blasted by I'm in a bay window, and this time of year, right in the morning, my light shifts from my one window to the other, and the sunlight was just kind of coming in and hitting me right in the face, and my little sensitive eyes get like blasted. Okay, hello Tanya from Kentucky. Oh, from Florence, Kentucky. I like that name. It's amazing how many European names America has, right? Like people that came over as immigrants, they wanted to name different cities and towns for places that they had known back in the old country. So that's why we have so many, I think, European names, but that's such a pretty name. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Mickey from Missouri. And she says it's a chilly 49 degrees this morning. Mickey, 49 degrees is not chilly in the middle of winter in Boston. I think it was below freezing this morning here. So that actually sounds like a warm day. That's yesterday. That was like my warm day. I think it did get up to about that during the day yesterday when I went for a walk. And I was very happy. I was very happy with your chilly 49 degrees. It's funny, right? It's all relative. Good morning, Mary. From Scotland. Oh, how fun. I've never been to Scotland, but I do want to go one day. Hello, Linda. Hello, Mary. Hello, Mommy Rue from Nebraska. Oh, and she says it's raining with a possibility of snow. At this time of year, we don't want to hear the S word anymore, right? We want to hear the F word. The flower word, not the F word, the bad word. We want to hear flowers, and the S word, which would be not the S word as in snow, but the S word as in sun, right? Not snow. Good morning, Lois she's also from Nebraska. We've got some Nebraska people representing this morning. Hello, Nancy from Maryland. Hello, Kim from Edmonton. I bet you, Kim, you still have possibilities of snow for a while, right? Hello, Karen. She says, always good to have boxes on hand. Very true. Marty says, these boxes look so cute. Hello, Brenda from Methuen, Massachusetts. Don't know where that is, but we're in the same state. I'll have to look that up afterwards. Hello, Verblue from Missouri. And Marty says, don't forget to give me some thumbs up. Thank you, Marty, for the reminder. She says it's 40 degrees in Pittsburgh, but sunny. That's great. Hello, Hilda. Hello, Beverly from Ontario. That's where my husband is right now. He's up with his mom and dad, and hopefully I will get him back this weekend. And my son's here. Oh. Hello, honey. I need to talk to you this weekend, FYI, but nothing's important or serious, but I do need to talk to you this weekend. So put some time in your schedule for me. Oh, that's so nice. He's here. Hello, Donna from Cape Cod. There's my son. Doesn't he look, I don't know if you can see his little avatar. He's looks so handsome. All right, on we go. Hello, Judy, and hello, Regine Ann. And people are saying hi to you, Nick. Hello, Nancy from Hilton Head, and Mary from Indiana. And hello, Teresa and Gail from Ohio. Trudy from Maryland. Hello to all of you. Marty says, cutting tabs with a trimmer is great for me. These days I can't seem to get a straight line. Yeah, it was, who taught me how to do this? If any of you are familiar with the old, well, it's still around, Split Coast Stampers. That's where I started stamping online. And there was this lovely leader on there. She was one of the employees that did the weekly tutorials, and her name was Beata Johns. She's no longer there, but she was originally from Germany, so she had a lovely accent whenever she did her videos. But she always cut on the trimmer like that, and that's where I picked that up, that little tip. I still remember that so many years ago. Hello, cutie puppies from Oregon. Hello, Sneeny from Rhode Island. As people are saying hi to you, Nick. Hello, Barbara from San Bernardino, California. You probably live pretty close to where my son lives now. Hello, Lori. And she says, it's a fun idea for when you give a few gifts instead of a big one. Yes, that's true. Linda says, can you do a notch on the side of the box? Yes. And you know what? Oops, throwing things around. Okay, I'm coming back. I had to grab a punch. So if you have a, let me hold this up. 1/2-inch circle punch, and you want to do this into the lid of the box here. Okay, so I would make a mark using here. The nice thing with the 1/2-inch circle punch is you can do this after the fact. Okay, you can come in and do this, and you can kind of eyeball center it, or you can take a centering ruler and you can try and find, so this side is it's about 4 inches, so you kind of just put them right in between the two marks. Once the both sides are equal distance from here, you can see this one ends at 2 and this one also ends at 2. Then you take your little pencil mark and you just do yourself a little centering mark, and then you can come in and do like a halfway punch. And I think this one was a little harder. When I did my sample boxes, I did designer series paper, so it went through a little easier. This is going through 3 layers, 2 cardstock layers and 1. But yeah, you can do a little thumb grip, and then when you put this on the top of your box, you're going to have a thumb grip, but you want to put one on the other side as well. So yes, you can do that. This one, a 1/2-inch circle punch, will it will fit after the fact, in case you forgot. So I can put a link to that below. All right, oops, bring my face back on. Beverly says, cute boxes. I think I will do these for Easter. Very nice. Nicholas says, thank you for the warm wishes. And oh, you're leaving for a work trip to Reno today. Oh my gosh. Well, have a safe flight. We'll talk later, okay? And he says these boxes are a great gift. Thank you, Nick. All right. Valerie says safe travels. Marty says take care. Have a good trip. And Nick says Nick might be biased, but he's definitely right. Nick is so sweet because he sometimes, when he's home, he sometimes does Casing Tuesday with me, and he's always just like so sweet when he's on here. Cindy says, Morning, Brenda and everyone from Everett, listening while she drives to the chiropractor. Well, I hope you have a good adjustment this morning, Cindy. Kim says this is awesome. Regine Ann says great gift boxes for any occasion. Valerie says fun gift. Teresa says love the stacking boxes. Mommy Rue says love the gift boxes. Teresa says what a great gift to receive. Valerie says thumbs up ×3. Judy says what a great birthday bundle of boxes for a gift presentation. Patty says, what is the bottom of the glue jar? Does the glue tip not dry out that way? Yeah, this is actually just the glue from just residual dripping of several different glue bottles because I use so much glue. This is, I don't know, I have done this for a while. I just leave my glue upside down, uncapped in this, and it doesn't ooze glue all the time. It kind of does, this does kind of stick, the nozzle does kind of stick into the glue. I probably have a piece of cardstock in there. That's that little piece in there. Sometimes when I'm cutting things will fly into here. So this is just residual glue that has dried. And it's, yeah, I have done this for several years. I don't know even who showed me this original tip, but I swear this is, your glue will just, it will come out when it's ready, and it's just easier to throw it back into this little jar each time. If you are a regular crafter with the glue, like on a weekly basis, if I was only going to use the glue once a month, of course I would cap it, but I'm probably using it, I probably don't use it every day, but I probably use it like several days a week. I don't craft every single day, but I'm usually gluing something. So for me to have this upside down and ready to go, it's just like awesome. But that's a good question, Patty. Regine Ann says, awesome project. Judy says, safe travels to you, Nicholas. Cutie Puppy says, beautiful work. Regina Ann says, have a great weekend. Linda says, hello from Happy Valley, Oregon. Cindy says, she thinks she has 400 plus project in my Brenda folder of emails. Oh my gosh, that's a lot, Cindy. I don't know how many, it could be that many because I've done this. Well, maybe not that many, but I've done this for 5 years, right? And there's like 50 weeks in a year. I haven't done them. Sometimes I wasn't able to do them every single week, right? But yeah, there's probably a lot of projects. Vera Blue says, beautiful birthday boxes. Catherine says, love the boxes. Wonderful as always. Linda says, I'm off today to clean our craft room. I had to clean before I could do my video this morning. My surface was covered. Anna says, hello from the UK. Mary asks, are the everyday arches the same as the arch wishes? No. And I don't know if you missed this at the beginning, so I'm going to show this one more time. I'm going to grab my arches. I'm still here. Just hold on. I'm going to grab everything so I can show you. So the Everyday Arches bundle is this. It is a different stamp set. Okay, but this can be purchased as a bundle. If you like the stamp set, then you can get this as a bundle and save 10% over buying them separately. Or you can get the Arched Wishes dies separately and the Everyday Arches dies and the Arched Wishes stamp set separately. Because this is a new online exclusive that was introduced this week, and so this is actually a standalone stamp set, but it is designed to work with the Arched Wishes dies. And for me, I do more birthday things, so for me the Arched Wishes makes a lot of sense for me to get. But the greetings and everyday arches are very nice too. So if you like the stamp set, then get it as a bundle and then get the extra stamp set as an add-on. All right, Nola says hello, and she's catching the tail end of the live. Tanya said she just bought the ruler after seeing me use it. Aw, the boxes are so cute. Yes, this ruler, this OmniGrip ruler is a, OmniGrip makes a bunch of different rulers. I'm going to go back into my video afterwards and put the link to this ruler, and I'll put the link to this half-inch circle punch as well, because I use this ruler a lot, and it's, I don't know, it's very nice for adding lines, like if you want to put a line on the card, because it is see-through. So it is my most used ruler in my crafting arsenal right now. And I do have a few rulers. I have like a metal edge ruler. I have a T ruler. I have a wooden ruler. So I love the rulers. I think they are kind of essential to what we do. Nola said she saw the latest additions to Stampin' Up! Online and the ribbon project you did last week. Stampin' Up! Is offering punches for the 1/8 and the slot punch. Yes, I did add those punches to my Ribbon Savers video in case anyone needs the link to those. So those would be for my Ribbon Savers. I did a short video, so it's the hole punch assortment, and I don't know if I can hold these up without dropping them, but these are the punches, the slot punch, the 1/8 inch, and then this one right here is kind of a punch you would use to create a tag. So they're all really useful, and so yeah, of course you need like a slot for these, for the ribbon to come through. But I'm loving my Ribbon Savers, because now all of my ribbons are contained. I haven't done it to my retired ribbons that don't live in my room, but all of my ribbons right now, they all, I have some more in this little box right here, but they're all contained, and they all have, well, one ribbon does not. This one does not have one on it yet. I think I was waiting to do a video for that one, and then I just haven't done it on that one yet. But all of the rest of them have the little saver on them. So yeah. Oh, maybe not this one. This one is a new one that I got, so it doesn't have one on it yet. But basically, I put them on all my ribbons now, and they are making me very happy, so I hope they make you happy too. Mommy Ruth says, thanks for sharing. Have a great weekend, everyone. And Marty says, that's over a year's worth of glue in that jar. I remember the last time you cleaned it out. Yeah, I did do a clean out of my jar once, but I've been doing this jar for like a few years. So I go through, you know, I don't know how long it takes me to go through a bottle. I should write that down on my calendar. But they last for a while. Tombow's like a good glue. It's a small bottle, but it is good, and it holds things together. That's the main thing. That's why I switched to doing glue for the most part for most of my projects. Well, thank you all for being here this morning. I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend. And I will not be going live next week because I'm going to be on stage in Raleigh, North Carolina. Stampin' Up! Has an event. You may have heard about it, but it is being held in North Carolina. So next Wednesday, I am flying out, and I'm going to be gone from Wednesday to Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a video ahead of my thing, so I might not have anything on Friday. If I have time, I absolutely will drop a video for all of you, just a tutorial for for you. And I hope you all have a great week. And so I will still be going live on Tuesday as normal, but my Friday live will be, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I always love going to Stampin' Up! Events. It's a very, very fun convention. I'm going out a day early, so to make sure I get there on time. So it should all be good. Anyway, thank you all for being here, and thank you for the safe travel wishes. And I will be back for my Friday live in 2 weeks. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.